Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 172. And we're speaking here after two consecutive home 1-0 losses as Hearts didn't make it through to the Europa League proper. We're still in the conference though. There's that to be positive about. And we are rooted to the bottom of the league after losing 1-0 to Dundee United. So, whole load of stuff to speak about. I'm sure it's going to be a ray of sunshine and positivity as you all expect. As ever, I'm Daniel McIver, joined by Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you?
I've been better, mate.
It's probably an understatement.
I've been better.
Well,
I really don't know what else you want me to say.
yeah, it's fair. I think the majority of the entire Hearts fan base is thinking very similarly to you in that sense. Right, we have to
I,
do
I,
this.
I'm really not looking forward to this. Really not looking forward to this.
What do you mean? We've got so
Go,
many chances to speak about.
Going to the football is feeling like a chore again. See, when it's great and you can't wait for the next weekend, and you're just like, I just want the next game to come, want the next game to come. The international break, thank God for the international break. And I've
A
never
first
said
for
that
this
before.
podcast, for
Oh
that to be
my
said.
God. I've never been so relieved in my life. And yes, Scotland will get battered. And yes, it will be all too familiar a feeling. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm growing really concerned. I'm really worried. This is not good. Really
It's
not good.
it's the 2nd of September. It's like this is normally reserved for December, Christmas time, New Year, and go, oh, I think it's quite shite. Game week 4, we've just been like, right, that's it, it's fucked. And to be
Three
honest,
games at home, 4.5 hours played, no goals scored at
yeah,
Tynecastle.
when you put it like that, it's pretty understandable. And one of those games that involved some of those hours was on Thursday night as Hearts played the second leg.
Rubbish.
Yes. And I was just saying this to Adam beforehand. I don't know how to pronounce this team's name. I'm going to call them Victoria Pleasant. Sorry if that's wrong, but that's how I'm referring to it. But bluntly, we're not really going to be speaking about this game
No.
for a long time because yes, we did
Yet
lose.
another what if
Yeah,
in the
pretty
long
much.
list of what ifs with regards to this football club.
Pretty much. We lost 1-0. We will go through. I was going to say we'll go through the chances. We didn't really create
What
many
chances?
chances.
What chances could you possibly have when you play three centre halves, two wing backs that are full backs but expected to provide the width, and two, possibly three defensive midfielders at home, having already trailed from the first leg?
So if you're watching on YouTube, I now look like I've just been blinded because the BBC website is so bright. But yeah, listen, the talking point going into the game was probably that there was no Shankland through injury. So that suddenly was like, oh, the confidence that we had already was gone. But to be honest, he's been that shite this season. Did we really miss him? I don't know. Um, I don't even feel like they need to go through the team because you summed it up very well there. We played two fullbacks, Taylor and Penrice, as wingbacks. Penrice continues to be one of the few positives of the
I like
season for
Luke.
me. Yeah, I like Big Luke as well. He gets forward in a way that I was told he wouldn't. I was expecting to have an Alex Cochrane solidity, but not Alex Cochrane forward. But I've actually been pleasantly surprised at how much Luke gets forward.
I just love that this is going to be another team.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's been one of our better players so far
Yep.
this season for me. Yeah, I
Um,
really like him.
I'm just going to try and focus on positives here and just name players I think have been all right this season because
Which shouldn't
unbelievably,
take you too long.
I know it shouldn't. Malachi Boateng continues to be out my player of the year because he's just
I,
not
I,
really put a foot wrong.
he's a 50-50. I'm very much in the he's just like Benny camp, but then there's people that don't like Benny and don't like Boateng. So, but I think he's been pretty good for us so
Yep.
far, to be honest.
And then absolutely the biggest surprise of this season is that George Grant's just been good this season. I did get it.
This to me is the indicator as to how low we are. If George Grant is our best player so far this season, we are in deep, deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble.
You can't deny it though. He has been solid.
I I'm not denying it. That's my point. The rest of the
You're
level
just
has failed that
panicking.
badly that he looks like a shining light.
Yeah. Listen, the first half and for kind of the first hour almost, we do well to keep the ball with the team in possession. We're doing well, but we're just not creating any chances at all. Vargas is offside a couple of times. Schultz for them hit an effort over the bar, as does Kalvak. The Pleasant keeper, I wouldn't say he looked uncomfortable, but there was a couple of times where he kind of like saved in unconventional ways, I'll say. And by that, I
Very
mean,
Bobby Slamal-esque, if you
yes,
will.
exactly. Just pushing the ball out in areas. We don't really make the best of it. But the two biggest chances, ironically, I'm saying all this, I'm like, we were solid and all that. Before the goal, the two biggest chances definitely came for Pleasant, as right at the end of the first half, Gerald Taylor makes a wonderful stop to make it 0-0 and the game isn't dead by half time. And then 10 minutes later in the next half, Craig Gordon just does Craig Gordon things and makes another impeccable one-on-one save to keep it. I was about to say 0-0. 0-0 in the game, 1-0 on aggregate. But it's symptomatic of this team currently where it's like, yeah, we can be solid and we can have nice phases of play. But when it gets to kind of the final third of a pitch, we seem to just be like, oh, we've not, oh no, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. We haven't planned for that. We don't know what we're doing when we get there.
Our decision making is just awful, absolutely awful, and that's proved so apparent in recent games. You mentioned that stunning Craig Gordon save that keeps us in the tie, but this game has it's a cross for me between Zurich, which is a massive missed opportunity at home, just as this was. But in terms of the actual game, we spoke about the Scotland national team in what, June, July,
Mm-hmm.
June,
June.
their final group game against Hungary,
Yep.
whereby it was like all the possession, but the opposition were just happy to let us have the ball. I think
Yeah.
Milton were pretty much the exact same here,
Yeah.
and that we didn't really show any offensive prowess. This is my biggest worry, um, because we're under a manager that was an attacker in his heyday.
Who came in and was like, attacking foot. We don't settle for a draw. We push for it and
Attacking
go.
football, like just I don't know, it promised pace, width, excitement, some kind of dynamic attacking invention. There's absolutely none of that in this team. None of it
No.
at all. And again, this was just this was beyond caution,
Yeah.
unnecessary caution, because they weren't a good team, McIver. I'm not. I'm
Yeah, they
hand
were.
on heart. They were not as good as I thought they'd be
Yeah, well,
at
that's
all.
the best way of putting it. I expected them to be levels
A
above
lot better
us.
than that, and they
Yeah.
weren't.
No,
They
not at
weren't.
all.
I mean, they edged ahead with an unfortunate own goal over there, and they saw out the tie because we just didn't know how to break them down. We've got
Yeah.
no guile, no spark, which is why I was miffed as to why a certain Jan Dander was left on the bench, or
Yeah.
someone, somebody to come forward. Again, I said it. What is the need for three centre halves
I
against this
think
mob
I
at
think
home?
what his logic will be is we played very well in the Czech Republic in that system. So therefore, we don't take into the context of the fact that we're at home, so therefore should be more dominant anyway. We just keep playing the same system.
We're at home. This could not have been a bigger free hit, because if we
Yeah.
get into the Europa, great, but you've got that insurance policy, you've got the comfort blanket of Conference League football. It seemed to me like we just settled for the Conference League and had no aspiration or even attempt to reach the Europa League, which for a club that fleeces the fans as much as Hearts do is a surprise that they wouldn't take that cash windfall with a couple extra fixtures and some real glamour ties, if we're being honest.
I don't think it is that. I think it's just that he didn't know how to set us up properly to
I think
play
it's
the
got.
second leg.
I'm not for one second suggesting that. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I don't
I know
actively
what you
think the
mean.
board are going,
Yeah.
hold on a second, Stephen. We don't really fancy this. I
Yeah.
think it's more just, as you say there, we have no idea what we're doing middle to front.
Yeah.
And that's when you have a goal scorer like Lauren Shanklin did, bailed us out last season, you get away with that. He effectively wins your points pretty much on his own. And last season it worked because he did that and defensively we looked solid. It is the polar opposite of that this season. We're conceding goals fairly easily to, let's face it, some rubbish teams, and we don't know how to break down said rubbish teams to give our main talisman any form of service. And even he doesn't look interested. So that's a recipe for disaster.
And that was culminated in the 76th minute as the tie was put to bed. As ironically, Danda comes on and we look better and we look like we're going to make chances. And then Frankie Kent plays the stupidest ball of all time. Plays a
Michael
lofted
Stewart
ball.
thinks Cammy Devlin is to blame as well. Please
What?
tell me you've seen the clip.
No, I've not seen that clip.
Oh, the BBC commentary. He thinks it's Cammy Devlin's fault for basically going backwards. I can't believe you've not seen this.
I've not seen...
love Cammy Devlin and simultaneously hate Michael Stewart.
This is the thing. It's been a joy this season to have left social media entirely. So I've not had to see stupid shit like this. What the fuck are you on? I've seen the goal back. I've not seen it on the BBC highlights, in fairness. I've seen it on Hearts TV.
You need to get on that after this.
Oh my God. Well, it's not. It's fucking Frankie Kent's fault for playing a random lofted ball in the middle of the park.
But is it Frankie Kent's fault?
Yeah, because he shouldn't be lifting a ball like that.
No. He lifts the ball, but is that instruction?
Oh, right. What I thought you meant, I thought you were going to say, is it Stephen Kingsley's fault for not coming short to it and stuff like that?
No. Yeah. Wait. We're going to get on to the weekend.
Yeah.
Frankie Kent does the same thing simultaneously time after time after time after time. And there was a good handful of people around me going, why do you keep on doing this?
Yeah,
it does not work.
Yes, I now understand your question. It is definitely an instruction because the amount of time...
It has to be.
This isn't even this moment where you've all fucking seen it. Frankie Kent plays that stupid ball, they break, and then it falls to Cherv, who just smashes it into the bottom corner. It just goes in.
Yeah. It goes in slow motion. We all know as soon as it leaves his foot, it's pretty much headed goal.
Yeah.
But I said it to my mate that I go to the games with. I said, we've been rubbish tonight, so just watch these go up and nick one, and that'll be that. Again, similar to the Scotland-Hungary, where it was like they stayed it up to a point and just that's what we were trying to do. Staying it up to a point, make some changes, look as though we're going for it towards the end, and hope that we nick one, maybe take it to extra time. In the same way Scotland did that in Germany, and it's a lack of ambition, inventiveness, know-how, ideas. It's just rotten.
Well, that did mean that we were knocked out 2-0 in aggregate, but Stephen Naismith's actually a genius, because then you see the draws, and I think we would have somehow got minus points in the Europa League if we were in that draw with Man United and Sociedad and all that kind of pattern, right?
Could you imagine Hearts fans in Manchester, though? Oh my God, that would have been incredible. But no.
In fairness, we've still got Copenhagen. So, because the draw was then made for the Europa...
Bruges will be great.
Yeah.
I hope the fans have a great time, but you won't catch me there, given how honking we've been so far. And obviously now we could play Minsk in bloody Belarus and wherever it is, or where are they playing the games? Hungary. Nobody even goes to the games.
Yeah, I can't actually remember where Minsk are playing, but yes, the draw was made. It potentially is. Draw was made. The 3 home games are FC Heidenheim, who have taken the Bundesliga by storm.
5 out of 5 in all comps this season, baby.
The most thing possible.
Fantastic. Never even heard of Heidenheim. No idea how newly promoted they are.
I have, because of FM, because 4 years ago I did a save with them. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll get to see the team that I was. And it's like, oh no, they're actually quite good now, and we're going to get battered by them. So listen, fantastic. I'll be the one celebrating because I'll be like, I can claim ownership of this. I can be a supporter for them. It's fine.
I won't. I'll be sat sobbing into my scarf.
The Cypriot Ammonia FC. I'm missing it because of work, because of the kickoff time.
Is that not Bruno Aguilar's former team?
I think so. Yes, yeah. I think so. Yeah, because of the terrible kickoff time, I'm unfortunately missing that game. So
when is that? The 6th? Is that the 6th?
No, it's 5:45. So it's
course.
even
It's
worse.
magnificent. I'll probably end up missing that as well.
So missing that one. And then finally, FC Petro Cub. I thought it was Petro Club, but it's not. It's Petro Cub.
Petro Cub, Petro Cube.
Petro
No
Cube. Don't
idea.
know.
Never heard of them, so that could be 3 points, maybe. Hopefully.
Then, apparently, it's the rule this season that every Scottish team just plays the same opposition because we get both of Kilmarnock's opposition in the form of FC Copenhagen and Cercle Bruges. And then, as Adam said, Dynamo Minsk, but of course behind closed doors.
What
So,
rubbish trips for the fans. Probably doing them a favour, right
Copenhagen,
enough,
nah,
but
Denmark and Belgium would be class. I've been to Belgium, it's class. I've not been to Denmark. I know people who have. It's meant to be class.
unexpensive. But I've,
Yeah,
I've
but
never been.
fuck
I've
that.
never been to. I've never been to either. So
Belgium's lovely. I've not been to Bruges.
Bruges is tempting. Copenhagen, I can take or leave. Minsk is a straight up patch because everybody's patching. So.
Yeah, as if you had a choice.
Yeah.
You were coming out. Don't worry, folks. I'm patching it.
Initially, I was like, I'm not really sure about this. And then as soon as they said that they don't have anybody go to the games, I was like, perfect. That'll do me. That's fine. Fantastic.
Exactly. So we have that to look forward to in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Look forward to. Yeah, that'll
be
fun. And then what'll be even more fun is the domestic games that follow them are quite tricky. So that'll be good.
Well,
a great laugh.
A game that we hoped wasn't going to be tricky was Dundee United travelling to Tynecastle. But it turned out to be quite tricky.
A game that wasn't tricky that we made tricky.
Yeah. We obviously have to get around the grounds first. So, on the Saturday, new signing Kevin Nisbet got the 3 points for Aberdeen right at the death after Mitov makes an amazing save and stuff like that. So that train keeps on going. Motherwell managed to compound St Johnstone's St Johnstone's doing as badly as everybody thought they were going to do, basically, as Motherwell got another win, 2-1. And then Dundee and St Mirren drew 2 each with each other on Saturday. Before the Sunday games, the Old Firm went the way everybody who was intelligent thought it was going to go, as Celtic ran out incredibly comfortable winners. 3-0 could have been 5 or 6 if we're being honest with ourselves. And then the other basement dwellers with us, Hilly and Hibs, fought out a 1-1 draw with Kilmarnock scoring in the 92nd minute. Penalty. We will get to our game, of course. What did you make of the other games?
Starting the Saturday, obviously, Dundee, having lost Luke McCowan on deadline day.
Yep.
I fancied him before. Obviously, he moved on to pastures new with Celtic. Still think that's an okay point at home to St Mirren.
Definitely.
I think they'll both be there or thereabouts with regards to the top 6 again. Tipped Motherwell to win 2-1 at McDiarmid Park against St Johnstone because they are awful. But Motherwell are just slightly less awful. He says, having watched his team get beat 3-1 at Fir Park off Motherwell. Aberdeen, 9 out of 9, and now they're number 9 in on the action. Can I just say, I have no qualms about the Aberdeen fans at all.
What do you mean?
Celebrating that goal like they did.
Has celebration police been out in full force?
Celebration police are out, and I'm like, give them a break. Like 9 straight wins. They've left it late. New signing. Their opponents have missed a penalty. Had a goal ruled out for offside through VAR. Fair play to them. I'm not keen on Aberdeen, but do you know what?
I've got family links to them, but still, fair play.
And like them singing about Celtic potentially stopping them winning.
I saw that. That was funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's class. And then I saw Celtic fans be like, "Fuck you, Aberdeen. We're going to win." Like, that's class that they're doing decent. That. Yeah,
that is decent. I'm all for that personally. I don't see a problem with that. With regards to Sunday, Celtic are just levels ahead of Rangers, ahead of everybody else in this league. That was no surprise to me whatsoever. I tipped Kelly 1, Hibs 1, but could not have happened in a better circumstance or way, so that was great. And last week on the podcast, I believe I tipped Ross Graham to score.
You did.
Did I have money on him? No. So my misery
what a disastrous week for you.
Was further compounded when I heard on the tannoy The goal scorer for Dundee United after 76 minutes is number 6, Ross Graham. I'm just like, fantastic, of course. So yeah, great. I mean, God bless our league. It's wonderful. It's great. I'll take two correct scores, but circuit like Dundee St Mirren was the only one I really got wrong, and I optimistically said that Hearts would get a point, concede but score, and how wrong I was, because we haven't lost to Dundee United in 8 years. But there's always a time for records to be shattered, and that's exactly what's happened this weekend.
Now, me and Adam, as we say kind of throughout this podcast, always kind of, it's never been a rule, but it's like an unwritten rule that we don't typically speak about stuff like lineups and all that kind of patter before the podcast because it would then just be tired points that we're going over. But
We
that
run
was
through it.
different. Yeah, exactly. That was different this weekend because we're just at the stage already of complete incredulity at the fucking lineups. Because I
Oh
think
dear.
I messaged you going, what is this? Basically, I
You
have
went.
no idea what this is.
You weren't the only one. There was a couple mad scrambles. My phone was red hot. People asking, "What on earth is this? Why is this random array of names just appearing?"
I like that everybody turns to you. Like,
Yeah.
right, come on, Adam.
I'm not picking the team. I'm not doing a Romanov. Like, yeah, I pay my money, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to Daisy on his door and going,
That's
"Oh,
the reveal. That's what's been going wrong. You've been picking this fucking
no,
team.
no, no." Because I was, you know me, I've been championing four at the back. So why I tell him to select three centre halves, I
True.
don't know.
Well,
However,
he
I
did
was
play
at,
four at the back.
yeah, yeah. It was only then when I saw four at the back, and I'm going, is that a four at the back or is that three? And I'm
I was
thinking,
convinced it was three.
I was to a point, and then I thought, no, Yutaro Oda cannot possibly be
That's what I
playing at
thought it
right wing
was.
back.
I thought it was
I'm
Penrice
thinking,
and Oda as
please,
wing backs.
I'm thinking, please, for the love. I'm thinking, you're under pressure. The fans aren't happy. Stop with the insanity. Just keep it simple.
And
Yutaro Oda
apparently,
cannot play right wing back. But
keeping it
Stephen Kingsley
simple,
can't play right back either. So
apparently, apparently keeping it simple is playing a left-footed left back at right back, despite having a right back you've just signed in the window on the bench.
a right back signed in the window, a centre half stroke right back who signed that came on during the window, and a right back that starts for his country but is frozen out and is sat in the stands or
Yeah.
whatever the hell he is watching the team play. And we've got a left-footed left back on the right-hand side of a back four. Make it make sense. And sorry, I know we're going to talk about the game. How apparently obvious was it the first time that Stephen Kingsley received the ball on the right hand side, used the outside of his left foot to cut back inside, and then would swing an aimless ball into the box, hopeful to pick out, of all people, who I love, Kenneth Vargas. Oh my God. They would
See,
actually drive you to drink.
this is why this podcast is great because we can laugh at it. It's saying it out loud makes it so
It's
incredulous. You just have to laugh at it.
it's that insane that it's just you're past going mental now.
Yeah,
I see Dundee United fans that seem to think that they were incredible, like amazing. They've won at Tynecastle for God knows the first time in however long. They were honking. We were just worse.
I think they were. I think they were solid and had a game plan that
Okay, but
worked.
they were not a good team.
No, I don't
They're
think
third in the league and they're not good.
that's fine, but I think they're a very effective team. They're clearly a team that has been under a system for a while that is embedded within them. So yeah, they might not have really good technical players and stuff like that, but what they have is a team cohesion, an understanding, and everybody knows what their job is and they do it well. That would be
I think they're all right. I think they've got a couple good
yeah,
players. But
100%.
this like we are so easy to play against
But
at
yeah,
Fun 2 at the minute.
we were the biggest
Jim
issue
Goodwin
in that
said
game.
it.
Yep.
Get the crowd angry, agitated, or just generally just have a sense of apathy amongst the four stands. And chances are you probably nick a result at Tynecastle. How often have we seen this over recent seasons that have been poor, where if you get the fans on side, it's great. The minute that it turns toxic, the opposition grow in confidence, the fans start believing, the opposition manager starts believing. That all transpires onto the park. And this was just another classic example of Hearts fans not really getting behind the team. They're venting their anger, and the opposition can't believe it. They're licking their lips at the thought of coming up against Hearts.
Ironically, though, and I agree with everything you've just said, I actually thought we were all right in the first half. I thought in the first
We're
half,
fine.
yeah, you could see everything was working a wee bit better. 6 minutes in, a
What a
really
novelty, can I just
yeah,
say?
I
When
know.
you've got a flat back four, albeit with a lopsided right back, but two midfielders that want to get into the final third because lo and behold, they're supposedly creative midfielders, and a sitter that just protects as a general, sweeps up in front of the back
New
four.
system, by the way, a 4-3-3 with a sitter. Another new system.
Yet another, but it looked far better than the five stroke
See,
three.
well, yeah, I would agree with that. I still don't think it looked good because in the 37th minute, we changed to just a completely normal 4-2-3-1 with Spittle in the 10, Oda and Vargas out wide, and Shankland through the middle with Grant and Boateng. And in that final 5 minutes, I thought we looked the best we'd looked all game. And it was like, what a novelty. We're playing Spittle in the 10. We've got two midfielders, one who's a sitter, one can push forward. We've got fast wingers. We've got a striker. It's like, just Naismith, hi, do this. We start the second half, and he plays Grant in the 10, and Spittle drops into the 8, and we look disjointed immediately. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but you just mentioned that there, and it just reminded me of that. It was like,
No,
how are we doing this again?
it's crazy. Again, it's like trying to stay in the game. Like, I'm sorry, we're at home against newly promoted, with all due respect, newly promoted Dundee United. This this could be just the catalyst for change, the start of a couple results, hopefully. But no. Instead, we just revert back to the same crap that we've become accustomed to seeing in recent weeks.
Well, initially, the first 17 minutes especially, we have a few chances. 6 minutes in, a lovely move that involves Spittle, Vargas, Shankland, Boateng, Oda, and Penrice are linking up really, really well. Ends up with Penrice, but his effort just goes past the post. 2 minutes later, Spittle and Boateng do well in the middle of the park and work it to Grant. His ball into Vargas is met by Costa Rican reasonably well. It's saved by the keeper, but Kenny was offside anyway. I noticed this. Dundee
That bailed
United
him
were
out.
playing, it did. They were playing a very high line. United were playing a really high line at points.
Because they know that we've got no pace in the final third.
Yeah, they generally played in a low block, but there was times where they would push up as a unit, and they were very well catching us offside all the fucking time.
Oda and Vargas have a bit,
Yeah,
but we've not seen. We don't play killer passes so that we see them really.
yeah,
No, we don't seem to play in behind. And when they're playing a high line, you'd think that that was an open goal. Really,
yeah.
you'd think that would be so easy to just try and get your ball players on it, ask questions, make the wingers commit, and just try and get in behind a back three. But didn't really happen.
Yeah. United then win the ball in transition and swing a ball in. Stevenson meets it, but it's just past the post. Then, in pretty much the same minute, we then go forward. And to be honest, this is probably our biggest chance of the game. Penrice shoots from the edge of the box. It's going to the corner flag, but it deflects massively, spins up, and narrowly goes past the post. So much so, I thought it was in. I jumped
So did
up.
I.
Yep, I jumped up, but no, just goes
Felt
past
like
the
a right
post.
numpty.
And then the next highlight is into the second half. So overall, let's now just speak about the fucking first half because that was it. I thought we were all right. I was thinking, okay, we're actually creating chances this time as opposed to Thursday night. It's just not quite
Couple.
coming off yet. It's more than zero. It was like, right,
Fair point.
we look more solid. Grant, Boateng, and Spittle look like a good three that are working together. Let's just keep going and everything should be all right.
We've got enough in us to win this game.
Yeah. What I didn't expect is the second half to come out, a new formation change with, well, a formation change that we started the game with, but with players in different positions within it. And we just decided, that's it, by the way. We've given up. We didn't score in the first half. So therefore, you're all right. Because immediately, 46 minutes in, a minute into the second half, Dundee United should score. Halkett who I thought had a weird game because I thought actually Halkett did quite well in a lot of instances in terms of like there was a moment where I was like,
But he still had a couple where he was exposed massively,
yeah,
and you just yeah.
yeah. There was like a moment where he was winning loads of shit in the air, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what it's like having Craig Halkett. Like he wins stuff in the
Yeah,
air.
that was nice to see.
But you know, moments like this where it's just his kind of decision making in terms of when to commit was wrong. So he'd commit, but he's not done it right. So the player can just nip past him, and suddenly there's a massive gap. It's a 2-on-1. Trapanovsky breaks with Kent, not knowing whether to go to him or stay with the runner. But Trapanovsky overruns it completely, allows Kent and Kingsley and kind of general Hearts players to get back. It's a massive let off, which is then immediately combined 2 minutes later, where Ross Graham gets up and heads a header just over the bar. And you could
Oh, that was
immediately
good.
tell that it was like, oh, we've not carried on the momentum that we had in the first half here.
No, um, as though we were trying to make one of these. I wouldn't even call them chances, really, opportunities. Pay off. I think it became pretty apparent in, well, not long after half time that there was only going to be a maximum of one goal in this game.
Yes, agreed.
And I said to the people standing next to me, I said, I reckon there's one goal in this game. It bloody better be for us. Um, and obviously that wasn't to be because we just again like it's as though all kind of confidence and belief had sapped out of us as soon as United came forward and started to pile on a wee bit of pressure.
In the 54th minute, Grant does very well to chest it down, flick it up over the head of the Dundee United defender and volley it towards goal, but it's pushed out for a corner. 2 minutes later, Boateng does well to win the ball back, but substitute Barry Mackay fires the ball over the bar. Now, the only other highlight is the goal for United. So you may have noticed, I've kind of like flown through the games because I weirdly feel like the games aren't the talking point for this episode. It's
No,
like, it's the bigger issues around us. So the goal happens. United do well to work the ball at the edge of the box on the near side with Ross Graham, and he's just completely unmarked. There's a hole where just no one is pushing towards him. He shoots towards the Hearts goal. It's not got a lot of pace on it, but it deflects off Halkett. Gordon's left stumped, and it goes in. We get beat 1-0. Now, before we speak about anything bigger, about managers' features and stuff, I want to speak about in game stuff because I felt his substitutions were fucking abysmal on
terrible.
Sunday. Why the double header of taking off Penrice and Grant, who were two of our best players, to bring on
Baffling.
Oyegoke and Mackay. Listen, I've not given them a lot of praise in the last 18 months, so I'll say this. The first 10 minutes, Mackay looked all right. Mackay was trying to do stuff, but then he did what he always does and just, oh, it's not come off in these opening 10 minutes. I will do nothing for the remaining time.
I had the fear that he was coming on to play centre mid, and I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah,
We've seen
that's
this
fair.
experiment previously. Like when I saw him move out to the left, because he and Danda both came on at the same
Yeah,
time, did they?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm thinking, right, okay, Danda in the hole, Mackay out on the flank. Don't necessarily mind it. Maybe Mackay will look for overlaps, but is Stephen Kingsley really going to do that because he's been playing? Yeah, it's just a
The
mess.
Penrice, listen, I know it's me. I'm boring. I like defenders, right? But Penrice was, as we've said, Penrice is the only defender that we have this season that is pushing forward with actual ability, it
And
seems.
actually looks like an outlet
Yeah.
in the
Why
forward
did he
third.
take
Yeah.
him? Take Kingsley off. If you want to bring Oyegoke on, Adoye should be starting as a right back. But
That's that
fine.
that says a lot to me about Oyugoki that he probably feels he can't even trust him. And it's like,
I
well,
know,
why why sign him in the first place then?
which is baffling because it's like I'm not going to sit here and say Oyegoke's been absolutely amazing. Why is he starting? I don't know what I think of Oyegoke yet because
Yeah,
he's not
he's
had a proper
no.
run.
There's fans that have already written him off after Dundee, the Pilsen first leg. To me, I think we need a run of games before I can really pass judgment, to be
And
honest.
even if he is shite, he needs to have the chance to prove he's shite. If you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
if a man, I
It's
think you're right with
incredibly
the
harsh to
manager
just
thing. Yeah,
leap onto somebody after a couple games.
but weirdly, it seems that Naismith is part of that group that's leaping on, just going, "Can he trust you?"
It's like,
Like,
well, why is he here then?
yeah,
You're wasting everybody's time. And again, like even Taylor on the bench was strange.
I
Like
thought Taylor wasn't in the squad at all. I might be wrong.
it was just bizarre.
Yeah,
I think
Taylor wasn't in the squad at all, so
was
he
he
must have
not?
been hurt. Yeah, he must have been hurt.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I thought he was on the bench, so that goes to show you how much I pay attention.
But
Sorry,
it's like,
Salazar was on the bench.
yeah, Salazar was on the bench.
Yeah,
So it's like, bluntly, I think Penrice has been better than Kingsley so far this
yeah,
season. So if you're
I can't
keeping
disagree
a
with that.
left back on the pitch, why are you taking Penrice? And he's done that a couple of times now. Penrice has been a regular sub to come off, and we always look worse without And I know a part
He's
of
missed
it
a lot of
might
football
be,
through
yeah,
injury.
that
Yeah,
they're doing that. But it's like, but bluntly, we're now in a position where it's like, well, you fucking need to, well, then bring Salazar on.
yeah, just go
Why?
like for like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
So listen, that annoyed me. I think that's now in 7 games we've played 11 different systems, which is just, and I know so many of them are similar, but it's
That
still different systems.
that is reeking of desperation.
Yeah,
We are desperate right now.
we get beat 1-0. We've got a point. We're joint bottom of the league. Now,
Killy have just picked up their first
yeah,
point at the
yeah,
weekend.
exactly. We are, what is very important, we're 4 games into the season. We've got 34 games. Anybody saying this is proof we're in a relegation battle, I think that's going too far. What it is immediately proof of is that this team is a team that could be in a relegation battle come the end of the season if nothing changes.
I think there's too much talent in the squad for it to
So
be
do
in a
I.
relegation
I
battle.
think when you look at St Johnstone, even if it's just because St Johnstone and Ross County exist and we finished 10th, but I think we'll still get top 6, right? I still think we'll get top 6. But that's still a fifth, sixth is still a failure. But that's
Yeah.
not a successful season. So it's been, I imagine, as I say, I'm not on social media anymore. I imagine it's been the main topic of conversation. Should Stephen Naismith stay or go?
There's polls
I
aplenty.
can imagine there's a plenty of
I
polls,
think Scars Around the Funnel posted one, and
right?
I voted in it. I'm not going to tell you which way I voted,
Okay.
and there was 85% that wanted Stephen Naismith out.
Well, you are going to tell me because what is your stance on this?
I don't know, McIver. That's God's honest truth. To me, our form just coincides with Lawrence Shanklin's form. That has just become so apparent. It seems to me as though, and this might sound incredibly harsh, Stephen Naismith was bailed out by a centre forward that was in the form of his life.
So,
And that, as time goes on, that's just what I'm led to believe because I don't see any different. And even then, something has to have happened behind the scenes for Joe Savage to walk away, for our captain to not even come out in the media. You'd think that it would be the manager and the captain. I've heard more from Craig Gordon, who barely featured last season, than our actual skipper, who's on the park. He doesn't really look arsed. I just I don't know what's going on. Has there signings have been brought in, but half of them don't even play? What is happening here? Something has to have gone on behind the scenes that we're unaware of because there is something that smells right now, and I have no idea what it is.
so I would personally disagree in saying that our form is linked to Shanklin's form. Obviously, it very literally is. Like, you can't get. If we're playing shite, it's partly because Shankland's also playing shite. But what I mean is, I don't think if Shankland was still scoring goals, the issues I have would be relieved. Because the issues I have isn't.
That doesn't mean that they don't that both forms don't coexist
No,
though.
that's what I'm saying. You are right in terms of like, if
Literally.
Shankland's. Yeah, like, literally, you're right in terms
Yeah.
of like, Shankland.
I'm
If
saying
Shankland was
what you
scoring. If Shankland was scoring goals, we'd be
everything's
obviously. But
fine.
yeah, but
Yeah.
see, I wouldn't say everything's fine because my issues
Because
are
we've been so
beyond
poor
it.
defensively, or
So
what?
for me, it's just this time last season, right? We were in a very similar situation. We weren't as bad as we currently are, but we're in a situation
Sorry,
where,
the irony is, had we won on Sunday, we'd have had the exact same start after 4 games as
yeah.
we did last season. 4
So
points from as many games.
this is the thing. We're Naismith is probably thinking, and the board, key point, the board is probably thinking, we literally had this start last summer, and then look at where we ended up being last season. But for
The,
me,
the, go on.
personally, the issues are not comparable at all. Because this time last season, if I remember rightly, how I felt and how the general fan base felt was we're just not clicking yet. We can see what we try to do, but it's just not quite working. And
We've not seen any signs so far this season that
that's
anything's going to
from
happen.
last season. It was apparent it was a squad learning a new system that might take a wee bit of time. What it feels like this season is that it feels like a squad who has absolutely no idea what they're being asked to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's this thing of 11 formations in 7 games. I didn't mention this actually during the Thursday night point, but I had a mate, Adam, who listens to the podcast. It's not you. It's I'm not just getting third person on you here. He listens to the podcast, and I was speaking to him before the game and after the game, and he was sat in my section, but just further down. And he was like, the game was so shite. He began just looking at like body language of players because he was like, this is shite. But he noticed 2 things that were quite interesting. In the first half, Stephen Naismith and Stephen Kingsley had a full on go at each other. When Kingsley didn't play a ball forward, he waited for a while and then played it to Kent. And Naismith went ballistic. And Kingsley turned around and went, this isn't working. Who the fuck do you want me to play the ball to? Then in the second half, almost an identical thing happened with Kent, where, as we were saying, as you were making the point, is it an instruction? Where Kent kept trying to play that lofted ball and spun to Naismith and went, what am I meant to do here? This isn't working. And Naismith and him just got into another verbal argument.
I was fuming. I literally every single time the ball left Frankie Kent's foot, I would scream no because
Yeah.
it's insanity. And I think your worries and other people's worries are further compounded by Stephen Naismith's lack of credentials, whereby he's an inexperienced manager still. We've plucked him from the lowland league in our B team. Yes, he guided us to third last season. Yes, it was great. But let's face it, Aberdeen have got their shit together this season. Look as though they'll nail on third. Hibs are still rubbish. But other contenders look as though they've got some plans in place and look as though they're improving. We, for as much as they're improving, we are declining.
Robbie Nielsen was sacked after 5 straight defeats. Stephen Naismith has now had 6 straight defeats and counting. A precedent's been set. Whether or not it's acceptable, we had this conversation a year and a half ago where I said I disagreed with Nielsen's sacking at the time, but maybe it was the right time to do it. I wouldn't have done it, but maybe it was the right time. I still now accept and will say that it wasn't the right time to do it. It should have been sacked at the end of the season because the 5 games meant fucking nothing. But I said when Naismith was appointed, okay, we were both kind of just like fine on it. We weren't buzzing, but we weren't like, well, this is an absolute disaster. What are we doing?
I think we were willing to give it a chance because, as you
Yeah,
said, like it was basically done anyway.
yeah. It was like, right, okay. The issues I just have now are that the problems I'm seeing personally are so big that it speaks to the manager being at fault. Because yes, if Shanklin was scoring, would there be these conversations happening? No, there wouldn't be. But I'd like to think I'd still have the worries that I have of going, this team doesn't look like they know what they're doing. There's too many instructions. There's too many. We've still not named a fucking unchanged 11. And I know part of that can be injuries and stuff like that. That's fine. That's absolutely fair. But Devlin still doesn't fucking start again. Like,
I couldn't
we're not
believe
getting
that.
into that, but Jesus, like, for me, now, I would say I think it's time to change it. I do not think, however, it will be. I think Naismith will keep his job until at least the end of October. I think Naismith will be in charge until then.
I would agree with that. And I think that, put it this way, we don't even have a sporting director since Joe Savage has left. So, like,
Getting
do
one
you know
in, we're
what?
getting the boy from Scotland, eh?
Graham Jones. Well,
Yeah.
is he our sporting director? Because I saw Joel Skedd's tweet today, and he said that it was a role at Heart Midlothian. He didn't specify which role.
Oh,
I've not
interesting.
I've not read his piece in the Heart Standard, but I saw it was a role. Now,
Okay.
if that is the sporting director, okay. My understanding was he was some sort of conditioning and fitness coach. I
I
could be wrong
know,
there.
literally, the problem is he's come from the
I know
national team where I have no fucking experience.
I know next to nothing about the guy, so it remains to be seen what happens there. But my point is, Robbie Nielsen and Joe Savage were working in tandem. Stephen Naismith was working in tandem with Joe Savage up to a point. Now Stephen Naismith doesn't have somebody to turn to for recruitment because Joe Savage has walked. Will the board? I feel like the board would look for a sporting director rather than sack Stephen
So
Naismith
do I. I think
because
that is exactly what they'll do.
I feel like they would look for somebody that he can lean on for scouting players, whatever, or just a general kind of experience to help a young, inexperienced manager, as though they were justifying as to why they gave Stephen Naismith the job in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And additionally, the elephant in the room is we've just given them new contracts.
Yes,
So
but we gave Robbie Nielsen a new contract, and then he got sacked shortly thereafter.
very true, very true. But it's probably got a big payout on it.
Well,
So
that's my point. So what? The fans are just to plow in money to the FOH year after year, and it's to
now,
go on manager sackings because
yeah,
we stupidly give them deals
yeah,
that then they don't justify in the further weeks and months.
yeah, totally. It's like there's probably an oversight to give Naismith and his team that level of deal after one season being really successful. But it's one of those things. If we didn't and we are off to a flyer and he leaves in January, folk will be going, why did we not give him a longer deal? Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
Yeah, agreed.
The big question is we're now coming into the international break. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with this for a week. What do you think is the most important thing that, let's just theoretically say Naismith remains as manager during this time, which I think he will. We have Celtic away.
Can I just say, if people,
This is what
including
happened
me,
last year.
had written us off at Parkhead, I thought we'd get pumped at Parkhead, and Hearts surprised everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Could you
With the three at the
imagine
back as well.
against this Celtic team if we turned our season around from here? Oh my God, the amount of humble pie that people would be eating on social
Does.
media
He
would
gets a
be
new deal again.
incredible.
He'd get a new deal again on the back of that. Fair play to him.
Do I see that happening?
No,
Absolutely not.
no, not just.
Um, what do I think? I want to see four at the back, but then I kind of want to see a three at the back here at
I do want to
Parkhead
see a three. I
and
do want
and
us to play
try
three at the back.
try and
Yeah.
repeat last season's heroics. But watch, this will be the one time that he plays a four there.
It's a four.
We'll get
Kingsley
absolutely
at right
done.
back again just to see if it works.
1-0 down inside 10 minutes, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
En route to a 5-6 job.
Yep.
Oh, I, don't- I don't know, man. I'm not even getting too animated or too angry because I don't think the change that most people are crying out for is going to happen.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd
And
agree.
I think the board have bigger fish to fry. I think this sounds really bad. I was going to say that the board would have a guilty conscience because it's like we'd be playing in European competition. He's ultimately got us there, but then is
I
out
don't.
of job
I
before we
don't
start
necessarily
making
think
that.
that's
But I
even a
just
guilty
think
conscience.
I just think they view that as a bonus anyway, because realistically, we're not expected to do anything. If we get
True,
through, it'd be a miracle.
but
They should be worrying about the domestic matters right now
I
in the
do
hope that it's a
understand.
successful season like last season was.
I do understand if people are saying, "Well, we are like he did get us to Europe." Like it's on the, and there is a point that it's like, listen, it's been a fucking abysmal 3 weeks, but it is just 3 weeks. So it's like
Yeah.
in 3 months we could be going, Jesus, imagine if we'd actually sacked Naismith here. What a fucking nightmare we would have been in.
Imagine if we hadn't taken until November to start winning games, just like we were last
Yeah,
season.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we end up getting to March and it's like, oh, we're 2 points off third with a game in hand. This is
Uh,
all right,
we've
actually.
been on an incredible. Oh my God, don't! I would be so happy
So
to see Aberdeen blow that as well. That would be unbelievable. What I
this is what
would
I
give.
mean. I don't I imagine a lot of people are trying to make it quite black and white just by being like, if he doesn't go, the board should be sacked. We should burn the hotel. We should fucking do all this shit. It's not black and white. I think there will be very credible arguments to keep Naismith in charge. For me, it's just right now the negatives vastly outweigh the positives. But as we say, football is the weirdest thing in the fucking world where anything can
Honestly,
happen.
I would love for Parkhead, Pittodrie, or Paisley to be the turning point and for us to just go on some rad run. Um, the problem is, as we've alluded to, and you pretty much hit the nail on the head earlier, we saw signs back then, really, because Shankland hadn't scored. I think we'd be chancing our luck that the same's going to happen this season.
Yeah.
And again, he looks in a far different predicament this season as he did to last season. But I'd absolutely love to be proven wrong. Would love nothing more than to be proven wrong.
Well, after all that, we will end on a hopefully nice positive note with a quiz.
Are you not previewing Parkhead just because it's after the international break? There's no point.
Fuck
And
it. What's your score prediction? Go
4
for
0
it.
Celtic.
I was going to say 4-0 Celtic as well. So 4-0 Celtic is the official Perth to
Marvellous.
Paisley score
Imagine
review.
we win 4-0.
If that happens, we could do a 4-hour episode just watching the game
If that
three times.
if that happens, I might let Richard Cobb actually do an Instagram live.
Yes, exactly. Yes, 100%. Right. The end is near quiz. I have checked the list.
Oh dear God.
I do not think we've done this person. I've searched it. I've searched the player's name. So if we have, you've not included them on the list.
Oh yeah, my fault.
So it's your fault, right? But as ever,
What did you copy it from like the notes or from my message and just shove it in
no,
a document and search, or how did you search it?
you can search WhatsApp.
On
So I just
WhatsApp. All
typed
right,
in the
okay.
person's name
Okay.
and was like,
I
right,
hope you spelled it correctly.
I think I did.
Or that I spelled it
Yeah,
correctly.
exactly. So I'm panicking that we've done them already, but we'll
Okay.
see.
Well
Out with
done, mate.
that, we've got
Who
true or
cares?
false.
Like you said, the international breaks around the corner. Nobody really gives a
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly. Multiple choice, true or false, two normal questions. I'll be honest, you might go, this is the worst quiz ever in terms of like some of the questions are the easiest things ever. We've had a shite week. I'll give you it. Right?
And
So
it was my fault for making you record Monday night as
that's
opposed to
fine. That
Tuesday.
doesn't.
So
Oh yeah.
sorry, mate.
Hi, an hour in. This has been released on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. So there you go. So question one is your multiple choice.
Okay.
Who was the last goal scorer for Hearts that wasn't in a game when we'd already conceded? Is it A, Lawrence Shankland? Is it B, Kenny Vargas? Is it C, Alex Cochrane? Or is it D, Stephen Kingsley?
Mother of suffering God. Um. Oof.
So obviously, what I mean by that is Kent
Yeah.
and
So
Oda have both scored this season.
yeah, it's Dundee. It's Dundee at Tynecastle. And if the last, oh no, because we won 3-0, did we not? And Shanklin scored twice. Oh God, I'm just gonna say Shanklin in the hope that it is, but that might be too obvious. Is it Vargas? Don't be Vargas.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with Shanklin. It's
You've got
Vargas.
it, but you're thinking about the wrong game.
Oh, am
It
I?
is Lawrence Shankland because he opened the scoring against Rangers in the last game of the season
Oh my
last
God,
season.
so he did. Jesus. Oh my God, I forgot we took the lead in that game. It just
Yep.
feels like because we went 3-1 down that it was,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God. That was lucky.
Yep. So you got it right though. You're 1 for 1. You got it right with Shankland.
Just. Jesus, wow.
Well done. Question number two. When was the last time Hearts didn't win in their opening five league games?
Opening five league, what, as in just the Premiership or Championship as well?
Anything. It's the most recent season that we didn't win a game in the opening five league games.
Seems obvious, but 2019-20?
Correct. I didn't want to give you multiple
Yeah,
choice because it is
yeah,
so obvious.
yeah.
Do you know who
Thank
we
God.
we we won our first game in game week
Against
6,
Hibs, was it not?
and it was against Hibs.
Was that
Yes,
not the
it
Hickey
was.
Derby?
It was the Hickey Derby with
Yeah.
the Uche stepovers.
What a
Yes, it
game that was.
was.
That was bedlam in that away end as well. That was
Amazing.
class.
That was my
That was
brother's
so.
first Easter Road derby.
Oh, that is so good. Drink it in.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm not looking forward to the one in October. That'll
No,
be
near my
that'll be 22 lorries crashing into one
the
another.
worst game of football you've
Oh
ever
my
seen.
goodness, abysmal.
Two for two.
It's all right. I
Smashing
could have
it.
just say like every Edinburgh derby is.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we are crap, but thankfully so are they.
Yeah. True or false? Hearts are the only side in the four Scottish leagues to not score a goal in the first half.
I saw this. I think Joel tweeted that it's true. Yeah,
It's my
yeah,
weekly or my
yeah.
bi-weekly test to see if you pay attention to social media because I got it sent to me by my brother and I was like, right, let's see. I wonder if he shared it
Oh,
off the
thank God.
account. So well done. And then the final question
Nice.
before the Who Am I? Who was the last Hearts player to score against Dundee United?
Oh. Oh, what a question that is. Let's see. So, United. Oh, God. Oi, 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 oi. So, we obviously didn't play them last season because they were in the champ. The season before that wasn't. That was under Robbie. See, I thought Ellis Sims, but that's too far back because I think he scored the equaliser at Tannadice and we drew two each, but that was the season before. The season before last, before last. No, not 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. Jesus, this club do bad things to my brain. I'm struggling here. I'm not gonna lie. I want to say Josh Ginnelly, and I don't know where I've plucked that from, but I'm gonna go with it.
The correct answer is the goal of the season that season from the halfway line, Stephen
Oh, Stephen
Humphreys.
Humphreys. Oh, was that the last game that we played against Dundee United?
Yep,
Wow, I would not have thought that.
yep. And
That's
Gino
that's a great quiz question.
Gino scored in that game.
Ah,
Humphreys was
yes,
just
Humphreys
next.
sealed the deal
Yep.
with that worldie.
That was my one hard question in it because I was like, I need to
Oh,
get
that's
some in.
annoying. That's a good question though. Caught me out. Fair enough. Just like Stephen Humphreys caught Mark Bergitti out. Hey.
There he is. He's even though he's furious, he's no lost it. Right. Are you ready for the Who Am
No
I?
should have ever had it. But yes.
Can you lose some of your day have? But 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
That's
that's all right.
very good going.
That's all
Very
right.
good going. Right. Are you ready for the Who Am I?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried, but sure.
I played in a loss to Dundee United during my short stint at Hearts. I played in Scotland, England, Cyprus, and Albania during my career. I was previously compared to Mario Balotelli, but not for my footballing ability, for my behaviour.
Oh,
Away from
Jesus.
football, I featured on Hit, Channel 5 show, Can't Pay, Will Take It Away. Who am I?
What? Oh my God. What were the countries? Scotland, England, Cyprus, and Albania.
Yep.
What a horrendous quartet that is. Oh my God. A loss to Dundee United. See, I thought somebody like Mauricio Pinilla, but he obviously played in Italy, so that rules him out.
Right.
Because I'm thinking some sort of maverick, if it's in comparison to Balotelli. He was the first player that kind of dropped into my head, the whole maverick thing. I don't think we'll have done this player if he's played in exclusively those four countries, I'll be honest. I know we've seen some random shite in our time, but
Yeah,
no, that's too specific a
yeah.
quartet for me. Oh my God. See, I feel like I'd benefit from clubs that we've signed from and sold to. I feel like that would ring a bell. But we always ask that question. I was compared to Mario Balotelli, not for my footballing ability. See, like, would he be compared to another striker? Oh God. Scotland, England, Cyprus, and Albania. Oh. Um. Oh Jesus. I'm gonna ask for the. Oh, no, am I? No. In fact, I'm gonna ask for when did they play for Hearts, McIver?
They
That should
played
be a
for
fun
Hearts
point.
in 2013.
2013. Ay, 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 ay. Oof.
I really hope we've not done this bit.
I'm really struggling here. Because that like, 13 was obviously 13, 14 went into admin after winning the cup. So who the hell would have come in that time? It's similar to Mario Balotelli. Oh, Jesus. From 13, did you say?
2013.
To when?
2013.
Oh, just 20. Oh, right, okay. Fantastic. So obviously weren't here for long. Oh my God. Is it somebody like a Michael Ngoo? It can't be a Michael Ngoo. Scotland, England, Cyprus, and Albania. Oh my
Why are
God.
you not hyper focusing on the best clue of all? He featured on Can't Pay, Will Take It Away.
Fully enough, can't pay. We'll take it away. It wasn't on my priority pile as a kid watching the telly.
Shocking.
At 14 or 15, did I think can't pay? We'll take it away. Will be my number one viewing pleasure? Probably not. And I certainly wouldn't have expected to see this man on it. I'm just gonna ask for it. Can I have the list of clubs that they played for in order, please, McIver? Because I don't
Yes, you
know.
can. So, Southend, Liverpool, Hearts, Yeovil, Walsall, Bromley, Kelly, Oldham, Tarina, Tarina B. Oh, Jesus. Enosis Neon Paralimni.
Oh, now I know who it is.
Yep. And then Tarina again.
Hilly. Hilly in and amongst all that riffraff.
Yeah.
Did
Sorry,
he
I
play?
actually said that wrong. I said that, I'll be fair, I accidentally got Bromley and Killy the wrong way round. So he went
Uh,
Bromley, Walsall, Killy, Bromley.
and you said Liverpool before Hearts,
Yes.
which makes me think Michael and Goo. But I can't. Who else would we have signed from Liverpool? But did Michael and Goo have a spell at Killy? I don't remember that. If he did, it has to be 13, 14. I can see the Adidas kit, Wonga, because he was in the away, like the white with the maroon stripes. I actually quite like that kit, even though the sponsor was horrendous. Yeah, it has to be Michael and Goo, no? I'll go Michael and Goo.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yay.
thank
Well
God. I
done.
don't remember him at Killy at all.
Do you know why? Because he was there for one season, the
Gary
season
Locke?
the season that we won in the league, 14-15. So we would never have played against
Wow.
them.
Don't remember him at
So
Kilmarnock.
yeah,
So wait, hold on a second. Did he have about three clubs between Hearts and Kilmarnock?
yeah, so he was on loan at us from Liverpool, January
Yeah,
2013 to
I
the end.
remember that.
Then from summer 2013 to January, he was on loan at Yeovil. Then from January 2014 to summer 2014, he was on loan at Walsall. Then Liverpool released him. And then he
And
signed
Kelly
for
picked him up
Killy.
on a free transfer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He played
I
6 games.
don't remember that at all.
Yep. Bromley, Oldham, then Torino for 3 years, where I saw a mental stat about him.
How the hell did he end up over there?
I've no idea.
Who
Ngu was the
bumped him up
top
over there?
assist provider for Torino in both the 2017-18 and 18-19 seasons. He got the most assists both times. Despite being a target man, Ngu was the top assist provider in those 2 seasons.
What the
I was
hell?
previously compared to Mario Balotelli. Yeah, so he was at Liverpool. So I just assumed, oh, it's that comparison. But no, it's that he was just compared to Balotelli for his behaviour and relationships with managers. The player himself, however, denied the comparisons despite holding the squad number 45, which Balotelli always
Oh
wore
my
because it added
God.
up till 9.
Oh my God.
And then, yeah, he was on Channel 5's Can't Play Take It Away in more
Can't people
recent
take it away?
times. So here's this. I'm not being funny. You know how Wikipedia does like a summary at the top and then
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
into the thing? Here is Michael Ingu's summary.
Okay.
Michael Ingu is an English professional footballer. He has represented England at under 19 level. In more recent times, nothing about his career. In more recent times, Michael has featured on Channel 5 hit TV show Can't Pay Will Take It Away, where debt collectors Hugo Kane and Diamondback Darrell come to Ingu's home to enforce a high court order over unsettled payments to so-called Club Cheddar. Ingu's Richard Mile was traded in to settle funds. I don't think it's a real
Oh.
show. I don't know what's going on.
No, I've heard of Can't People Take It
Yeah,
Away.
but in terms of like, I don't know if Ingu had like, he was also arrested in a period of time for selling laughing gas at a festival.
Nice. Good work.
So he's just,
Well,
what a man. What a
what
career and what a life he's had.
the Maverick Mick? What a
Yeah,
man.
exactly. I just remember that Inverness game where I thought he was class. It was
Oh.
like, this is it. Scored the goal, scored the pen. We've got something special
He
here.
initially was class. He
Yeah,
was. He,
6'6". What a hero.
he came in and did a job for a time.
Yeah,
Wow. What a bizarre and wacky career since leaving
yeah.
Hearts.
I don't know why he
I,
came into my head either.
it must only go downhill as soon as you leave Hearts, really.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lesson to you all. All right,
Yeah,
stay here.
and get the finger out.
Yeah,
God
exactly.
knows where you'll end up. You'll be on Can't Pay Will Take It Away or
Yeah,
in some Albanian car park before you know it.
getting loads of assists apparently. But let us know if you got Michael and Goo, and let us know if you enjoyed this episode, which was more of a rant rather than anything. But sometimes they're the best episodes where we just rant about anything. If you have enjoyed it, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Massively helps us out. If you've been watching us rant on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps us out. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
They can get me sharing a Michael and Goo Hearts Goals compilation on all the socials at Adam T. Kendall.
That's a very short compilation. So we won't be back next week. There's a break because it is the
Thank God.
international break.
We
Thank
could do
fuck
with
for
one.
that.
You could do with one. The
Exactly.
management team could do with one and hopefully find a winning remedy in that time.
But we'll be back the next week to hopefully discuss a monumental historic win at Parkhead. Probably not.
Win there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Come on, the Hearts!